So happy you're here. What I want to talk to you today about is be willing to make repairs. And I don't know where this comes from in the industry, but there was a company that I worked with, and I'm going to leave the location and the name out, but they flew me out. I go to ride with the technician, and I look around the van. There's no parts and pieces in the van. There's nothing in the van. It's literally shelves, nothing there. And so I'm talking with the technician, and the technician says, hey, look, it's in the way that he said it. I'm going to give you my version. It's my role and responsibility to sell equipment. I don't fix anything. The only job that I have is to flip equipment. And I said, do me a favor. And he said, what's that? I said, take me back to the shop. So he takes me back to the shop, go to the business owner and say, hey, I can't work with your guy. And they said, well, we paid you for your 3 days. We want you to work with our guy. And I said, I don't have the same business philosophy that you do. And they said, well, what's the problem? And I said, I looked in the back of his van and he didn't have any parts or pieces. And they said, well, we don't want our guys to repair anything. We just want them to sell systems. And I said, hey, here's what I'm going to do is I'm going to charge you for the time that it took for me to get out here for my flight. I'm going to refund you all of your money. I don't want to be a part of that. And I think it's important for you to have boundaries for what you are and are not willing to do. Did I want the money for 3 days of doing a ride along with this guy? Absolutely. But I couldn't sign off ethically or morally with somebody that I was going to teach skills, talents, and capabilities to flip systems when they could have made repairs. So this is my long way of saying there's times where you meet with a buyer and it's your job to fix the equipment, right? You don't have to sell a piece of equipment every time. And if you work for a company that wants to hire me out and say, hey, Scott, these guys or these girls have to fix it or sell a new piece of equipment every time, I don't want to work with that company. Because in my mind, there's a lot of stuff that's being made up. There's the opportunity to fix stuff. So depending upon the age of the equipment, depending upon what's going on, availability of parts, look, there's a lot of factors that go into this. I'm not the police of the industry. I'm not going to pretend to be the police of the industry. I just know that there's people that I will work with and won't work with based upon how they treat technicians. So be willing to make repairs. So the company that you work for, I promise you, if their pricing is right, they make money off of repairs. Your service manager, your business owner is going to say, hey, technician, we do make money off of repairs. You could probably ask them. They're going to be okay with you saying, do we make money on repairs? They're going to say yes. In some instances, when the opportunity is there, sell a piece of equipment or do an upgrade, but it doesn't have to be all the time. And the reason I'm sharing this with you and the reason why this is important to me is there's like this belief that a trainer is going to come in and say, you have to sell parts. You have to sell new systems, but you can't sell parts and pieces. And this is a good reason for you to sign up for HVACTechSecrets.com. Just put in your name, your email address, and your phone number, and I'll share with you some videos that I don't have out on YouTube that aren't public. I'll give you some private training. Sign up, be a link in there for a Facebook group. But just know that your company makes money off of parts and pieces just like they make money off of pieces of equipment. Now, here's the thing. Today isn't always about a new system. Today could just be the beginning of a new relationship. Today could be the day that somebody says, hey, I had XYZ company come out. They weren't treat me right. I'm willing to try another opportunity. And if all you have is you need a new system, that's the only play that you have in your playbook, chances are good they're going to be like, I don't like this company. I'm going to go try somebody else out that isn't so pushy and doesn't want to have to make me get a new piece of equipment. Now, I have done sales and heating and air for a long time. And there would be times where I'd go to people's houses as a technician and I would get there and they would be like, listen, I don't want a new system. Okay. And then they would tell me again, listen, I don't want a new system. I go, okay. And they get mad. Everybody comes out here and tells me I need a new one. That's your decision. That's got nothing to do with me. I don't live here. And they'd say, thank you for taking that stance. And I say, there's going to be a point where I got to explain everything that's going on. I'm going to have to explain some damage. It's got to be your decision about what you want to do. When I get done, do you want me to tell you everything that's going on with your system? Do you want me to make you aware of issues? Whatever way you say it. And they'd say, yeah, absolutely. And there would be times where they'd go, all right, well, I'm glad that you didn't try to push me for a new system. Let's get a new one. Or they'd say, hey, I'm willing to sign up for your partnership plan, your club membership, or your maintenance agreement. Let's go ahead and do that. I want to try out this relationship. So realize that you're being tested. Just like when you go somewhere and you're making a purchase, you're kind of like, do I like this guy? Do I like this girl? Do I like this salesperson? I do or I don't. I'm going to buy. I'm not going to buy. I am going to buy. Realize that there's weight to how you explain damage. And when I say weight, I mean gravity. When I say gravity, I mean like the ability for them to make a purchase later on down the road. Is there money in the industry of making repairs? I remember I kept an invoice. I think the last year I was a technician was 2011 full-time technician. Last year was 2011. I kept an invoice in my box for somebody who was charging at the time $1,200 for a capacitor. Right? And remember, 2012. That's as of today. That's 10 years ago. It was outrageous. It was egregious. This company, I'm so glad they're out of business. They were a bunch of liars, cheats, and frauds. Like, it goes both ways. You don't have to make up damage. You don't have to build a ticket. And there are times where repairing the system is the thing that you should do for the homeowner. Not everybody needs a new system today, right? They may need it in the future. Know that you have an opportunity to help them in the future if you don't go to crazy town and try to push a new system on every home that you go to. Know that that may not be the right thing for the consumer. There you go. You got this. We'll see you soon.